Trending searches for January. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Google is trends search expert Robert Ferrara. Hi, Robert.
Morning, Fred. Good to see you.
Good to see you once again. And it seems like there's a lot going on. Always is. Searches related to awards season. Let's start there with I suppose, the Oscar nominations.
Yeah, January is a big year, so we're starting to see things shift from our typical New Year's resolutions, boom, and everyone talking about how to improve different habits throughout the year, into more like a pop culture as folks are hunkered down at home and, bearing this cold and all these storms. So lots of interest in award season. So, top of mind right now, the Oscars coming up on March 15th. A lot of excitement there. One of the biggest things too is the Oscar snubs 2026 was actually one of our breakout searches. So a lot of people a little bit miffed about some of the snubs like Wicked for Good, Jesse Plemons and Begonia, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. So some performances that folks really felt passionate about this year. A lot of searches too in the record for the most Oscar nominations. That spiked a ton after Sinners actually set the record this year with 16 nominations. So really, really impressive. And just interest overall in Sinners has been really overwhelming. So we see Sinners as the most searched Best Picture nominee this week, followed by One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme. And we're also seeing a lot of interest. Searches for What Is Sinners About actually spiked over 500% this month. Interest in Sinners cast jumped over 400%. And just more about Sinners Oscars nominations in general has spiked over 1,000%. So everyone is buzzing about that movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing it myself.
Terrific. And of course, you got the big music awards coming up real soon, I think this weekend, right? The Grammys?
Yeah, Grammys are coming up quick this weekend on February 1st, kicking off at 5 p.m. Pacific. So a lot of, just basic questions about where viewers can tune in. So what time they are, how can I watch? What artist has the most Grammys, with Beyonce at 35? So very, very cool. There's a lot of interest this year too in the performers. So who's going to be on stage at the Grammys? There's going to be many different artists, but so far the Grammys have confirmed Lady Gaga, Sabrina Carpenter, and Justin Bieber, actually.
The fashion category drew lots of attention, I see here. Tell me about that.
Yes. So the fashion one's very fun too. And, there's a lot of top outfit searches that we're seeing. So very interesting stuff, from like short leather jacket outfits, boot cut pants and shoes are really popular right now. Snake print was another one that was a really big breakout search. Blue sweater, brown Oxfords, and brown tight outfits. So kind of the whole gamut. We actually have a very cool tool along with Google Shopping called Virtual Try On. So if you want to envision yourself in some of these pieces that you might be browsing on, you can actually just upload a selfie, and then it'll just start trying on outfits for you, and you can actually see what you would look like in all these different pieces. So you can get some inspiration before you actually make that purchase.
That's pretty crazy. I don't think the short leather jacket's going to cut it in the kind of weather we've had in the East lately, though.
Absolutely not. I mean, I've given no care in the world right now. As long as I'm warm and layered, I mean, everything else goes to the wayside.
I know it's regional, but I'm sure that weather searches have been trending too lately.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with last week's snowstorm was like really, really intense. So searches for snow shovel, ice melting salt were searched more than ever before. We saw record-breaking searches there. Food for power outages, emergency supplies for cars, and then, kind of like snow day activities, travel warnings, all the typical stuff you would see. But people were very, very much looking to search to kind of keep in the loop on all those things.
And we still have all of February to go with this. So plenty more. Of course, we had the NFL playoffs leading up to the Super Bowl in a week or so. So, what
Mhm.
have been the search trends there?
Yeah, so of course, a lot of interest in the NFL playoffs with the Super Bowl coming around the block. So actually, search in the playoffs spiked over 400%, with actually overtime and turnovers as kind of at the top related topics. So two of the four games in that round actually went into overtime, making it only the second time since the AFL NFL merger that multiple divisional games required an extra period. So a lot of buzz around that and conversation. There was always search interest in how to watch every weekend. We see a ton of interest in that. And of course, we'll tell you one of the best places to watch is right on YouTube, which is great. And then, of course, the just anticipation for the Super Bowl. So, a lot of searches in Bad Bunny for the halftime performance. And we're also seeing a lot of interest in Green Day as well. So searches for them spiked more than 5,000% after the band was announced as the opening performance, almost nearing the same amount of search volume as Bad Bunny.
Interesting. And of course, we'll be seeing more interest in the commercials coming up too. And we'll be
Yeah.
talking more about that in the days to come. So the TV category always draws interest. What's hot there?
Yeah, so TV is really, really hot right now. I mean, everyone's talking about their favorite shows. It's that time of year. We're getting a lot of new programming, so it's very exciting. So, Euphoria is actually one of the top breakouts. So, its search interest in Euphoria has increased over 100%. Bridgerton as well, with a new season coming right up. So that's searches for that increased over 180%. So a lot of eyes on that. And then, of course, The Traders. So the reality competition show on Peacock is really booming right now. We've seen an increase of over 900% of search related to The Traders. So it's a fantastic watch. I'm really plugged into it myself. It's a really fun cast of characters and very interesting, great gameplay.
Interesting. So you always have this odd news category that's kind of fun. What are we seeing there this month?
Yeah. So a very fun one too is always to see how these viral, social media trends kind of carry over into search interest. And this month was no different. So there's a huge interest right now in drinking hot water. So it was something that kind of took off on social media of kind of like an Eastern medicine practice in a lot of different countries where you start your day with warm water. And the benefits that come along with it. So searches for drinking hot water actually reached an all-time high. And then, of course, benefits of drinking hot water is the top trending search as well over the last month. So really, really interesting. I'm curious about trying it myself. And of course, everyone thinks of dry January, abstaining from alcohol for the whole month to give yourself a break after the holidays. But this month, we actually saw more interest in searches around no buy January, which also took off pretty fast as well. So, folks trying to tighten their budgets, be a little bit more conscious in the new year after all of the holiday spending, that is being searched more than dry January. So, very interesting. And as a January birthday person myself, I'm like, all right, we get we get all the depressing ones. We no dry January, no buy, all these things. I'm like, I should have been born in the summer.
And toast with some hot water, right?
Exactly. That's all I get this year.
Terrific. Well, a happy birthday. I assume it's taken place already.
Yes, thank you so much.
So for more info, where can everyone go?
Yeah, so I definitely recommend folks go to Gemini. It's our AI assistant from Google that I think is a really great way to kind of stay on top of all the different things. So, for example, if you're going to an Oscars party and you may not know what's coming, maybe you haven't had time to see any of the movies, maybe you just saw like one of them. That's a great tool where you can be, hey, listen, without spoiling anything, give me a quick rundown of what all these movies are about and what might interest me. So that is always a fun tool, I think, to use. And of course, trends.google.com as well is always a great one to understand what is trending. So you can kind of navigate yourself and see what you're interested in.
Interesting. Robert Ferrara, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Fred.
The Haven 10,000 lantern is a smartly designed, beautiful solar light that you will love indoors or out. It is waterproof with up to 1,200 lumens of brightness, that's a lot of light, and the base becomes a flashlight at the push of a button. The power comes from a built-in lithium-ion battery recharged by the sun, the solar panel is built in, or USB-C. The battery can even recharge your phone. Did we mention how durable it is, how it folds down and can run for up to 120 hours on a charge? But the real power of the Haven Lantern comes from the people behind it and their mission to provide this quality lighting to those in the world who need it most, including in disaster emergencies. Your purchase helps to fund those efforts, and if you use the code Techstination20, you'll get it at a 20% discount. That's Techstination20 at havenlantern.com. Create your haven.